Hi, everybody. Bonjour. Bienvenue. I'll get it right eventually. I'm trying to relearn some of my Cajun French. Um, please welcome the beautiful Aley, who is here.
Sure.
She was
Thank
one of the first people that invited me on her show way back a year ago. And you were doing interviews, I think, with new people that were coming along. I don't
Yeah.
remember what the premise was, but it was something along those lines.
Get your channel out there. Yeah.
And that was, I have been dying to get you back on ever since, and we've all just been so busy that you know how that goes.
I do. I do. Thank you
And
for inviting me. I'm glad to be here, Sherry.
good
Really.
deal. And I am happy that you are here. Let's flip over to the comments, put up my YouTube comments so I can see if somebody highlights me.
Wow.
I get in trouble because I'll forget to do the pop-out chat in YouTube, where you can see if your name is highlighted, if somebody doesn't at your name. And and I'll miss it in the regular comments. I won't catch it because StreamYard doesn't highlight. So
Right.
and so I've learned my lesson. It's like now I try to keep it so I can keep an eye on it. I don't know how many people have seen it. I did a pre-recording with Sheila Celtic Tarot last night.
Good.
And she dropped it this morning. And from the time she dropped it until just before we went on air, when I got up this morning, my subscriber count was 311. When I got ready to come get going with all of this, and I pulled up my studio, and I was at 397.
Oh, look at that. That's
I nearly fell out of my chair. My son was like, I'm only at 80 something. I'm like, well, I
know. That's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that.
I was I was doing the happy dance is what I was doing.
You were. You were.
So that's like just a little over 100 left to go, and I can get my community tab.
You can get your community page, yeah. Which is
and I'm already getting emails from YouTube Studios saying, oh, you can do this and create commercials, and you can do this and create more ad revenue. And I'm like, oh my God, they're already hitting me with stuff. And
more work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. I was actually a member of my faculty just lost his wife about a month ago, and he's having kind of a hard time. And which I remember what that's like. I've been through it. And we were sitting and visiting yesterday at lunch, and he said, yeah, I saw something on Facebook about a YouTube channel. And I said, yeah, you ought to come and watch. And he was like, well, what all do you do? And I said, it's a lot of work. I said, a lot of work that people realize on the other side, because it's not just popping up and talking into a camera, but it's getting all your prep stuff together and getting promo ads put together and getting in touch with people and hunting them down and getting them locked on a date and a time and cancellations. And it's like, wow, this is a lot of work.
It is. And if it's not a labor of love, it's got, it's helpful if it is. And I think it is for you.
It is definitely a labor of love for me. I love doing it. I'm having
but it is a lot of work. I do acknowledge that for all of us who have channels. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why I've been trying to hit up, especially with other channel owners and getting them on here, just because they can come on and do their thing and not have to worry about all what's going on around them. They can just
that's true.
Sit and do their
back
thing,
and let you run the show.
That's right. And I have a lot more appreciation now when I'm watching or when I'm a guest of being a little bit more patient with what's happening, because I realize they're doing 10 things at once.
Right. That's right.
So a big thank you to Sheila Celtic Tarot for giving me one heck of a boost in my subscriber count today.
There you go.
I figured maybe if I gained 20 people, I'd be happy, but almost 100, that blew me out of my.
That's really great.
Blew my socks off. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
My phone kept dinging today saying, you have a new subscriber. You have a new subscriber. I was like, geez.
That's fabulous. Yeah, it is. It's a nice feeling. Congratulations. Yeah.
It is a good feeling. It's a humbling feeling, I find. For me, that there are people out there who are actually interested in what I have to say.
It does humble
We'll figure.
Yeah, I agree
You know,
with you.
so yeah, it's very humbling to know people listen to you, and so you try to be more careful with what you say and how you say it.
Yeah,
And I guess we could start saying hello to people. I didn't even look for questions.
yeah.
But let's see. We got Ron's here. Hi, Ron.
Hey,
Heather's
Ron.
here. Lauren's here. Tracy Ralph is here.
Wow.
Let's see. Craig is here. Gertrude is here. Annie
Annie.
is here.
Yeah.
Um,
Sharon Sipe.
Sharon Sipe is here. I was like, the name was right there and I couldn't pull it up.
That's right.
Moxie Cha Cha.
Moxie Cha Cha. I love that.
I love that name.
It's cute. It's cute.
That's a great name.
It is. My daughter has a little dog.
I love the name. So
my daughter has a little corgi named Moxie. So I should start calling her Moxie Cha Cha. I like that.
There you go.
That's cute. Yeah.
I love that. So
and Gertrude. Gertrude's here.
Gertrude is here. Yeah. And
awesome.
She came on my channel a while back. I think we were like a couple of days apart from when she was on mine and on yours.
Yeah. And, she's fabulous.
And then I went on hers, and I'm going to be doing, Saturday is our big day for the Vibe Tribe. Yep. So I'm excited about that. And and then after that's over with, I have another live stream with Ben from Beneficial Tarot.
Oh, he's fun.
He is hilarious. I just adore him.
Yeah.
He's going to come do a live stream with me. And Sunday, I'm doing a live stream with Sheila, Spirit Messenger. Sheila.
Good. Yes.
And next week, I've got stuff planned, and I don't remember who. But on November 2nd, I have Linda G.
I have her coming on October 2nd. I think it's a Monday. Next Monday.
She's coming on November 2nd. It's great. Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wonderful.
In the middle of the day. And somebody said, well, what are you going to do? You're at work. I said, I'm taking the day off.
I don't blame you.
But you don't tell Linda G, I can't meet you on that day.
That's right.
That's the day you want.
That's why you save the day off. Yeah.
I will take the day off. Don't you worry about a thing. Right. I will be there. There's not many people I would do that for, but for her, yes, I will take the day off.
That's
awesome.
So
I'm excited.
Hi to Valerie, I want to say, and Tracy.
And Shay Kitty and Janet and Janet P.
Oh, Janet's here? Good.
Yeah, I just saw Janet.
Lauren Hunsinger. Yeah.
I guess I should scroll up and see if there's questions.
I don't see any.
We're just going to chit chat until somebody throws some questions at us. And thank you, Heather, and thank you, Sharon, for putting in the channel, the website addresses. I am like totally blank today. Aley's website and everything is listed in the description box below.
Thank
you. So as well as my PayPal, if anybody wants to make a donation, or my Amazon wish list, if anybody just wants to buy me something. I'm not opposed to that either. They're both listed in the description box below. And my son's link for his channel and his music is listed below. So
great.
I'm gonna see if
he also helps you with tech support, doesn't he? He does good tech support. Yeah,
big time. He helped me do a promo ad last week. He had written a song, and in the background music, he had put in some like violins and that kind of stuff, and it's really a haunting kind of melody. And the first time I heard it, I went, "Oh, that's perfect for my channel. I gotta have that." He says, "Okay, I'll pull it out and just make a sound wave of that music." And so he did, and then he found a wave of like swamp sounds and crickets and whatnot. And so he put it all together on the promo I did. And so it sounds kind of cool. And we were going to try to do it tonight for the countdown, but I
Didn't
waited
work
too
out.
late to try to put it together. And it's like, no, we're going to have to combine it. He's going to have to do his mixing magic in his room on his system. He's got all that stuff set up because
Awesome.
he's got it all set up. He can, whatever songs he does, he can do like multiple tracks and blend together, and he can add drums or add violins or add piano or all kinds of stuff to what he's just playing on the guitar, which blows my mind. It sounds like there's a
Very
whole
talented.
band playing,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So
That's
he's
awesome.
been doing that, and so I was like, okay, well now you have to start working on my stuff. So we're getting there, slowly but
You're
surely.
getting there. Yeah. Yeah. Now that we're going to be home more in the fall, most of us aren't circling the globe anymore or whatever, and so it gives us more time to do those things that we like to do, and so that's
exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, good. So Hilda's here, and Shay Kitty, and hi, Mama Bear, Serena.
Oh, Moxie Cha-Cha, her niece and family are on the east coast of Florida. You're going to have to tell us what part of what part of the coast. Is she like North Florida, Central Florida? I know Susan Lynn was getting some hits on it taking a decidedly like southern jog once it hit land, and she was saying, if you're south of this area, keep your eyes open. And I was like, yeah, that's very true, because you never know with hurricanes, and we've got
no, you don't. You're right.
Weird weather systems that can push them into different directions. I mean, Katrina was supposed to hit like Texas, West Texas area when it was coming, if memory serves, or it might have been Florida. I don't remember. It was like further out than Louisiana. And because of changing weather systems, instead it funneled right into us, so, well, I say us.
It did. And then you had that breakage of the, and that's what can happen too. I saw that somebody, I think it was in Largo or something, their house caught on fire because the storm surge hit the power box and started a fire in the house. So you got other things that can happen, and so you got to be really careful.
Tornadoes. You get tornadoes and hurricanes. They were saying something this morning on whether one of the weather people that have an online feed was talking about this was the most lightning intrusive hurricane eye he'd ever seen. That there was more lightning in the eye of this hurricane than normal. And and I was like, oh,
you can see that actually on the hurricane in the picture of it. You can see the lightning burst.
You can see the lightning in it. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And it's scary.
Looks like you got a question here from Indigo at 5. Let's see, it would be 7:15 your time.
Okay, I haven't gone up that far. I'm backed way up the back. I went like down as far as I could go.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to miss anybody.
So it would be 7:15 Central.
Okay, I'm almost there. It just jumped on me. So whatever I was looking at is now gone.
Okay. We've been having a lot of trouble on some of the feeds where people's comments aren't showing up at all, and like they post 3 or 4 times a question, and I don't really know what that's all about. So
I mean, I know that will happen if hi Hilda, I didn't see her come in. I know that will happen if you get blocked from the show person, from the show host. Nobody knows they're there. It's like it makes you invisible. So
it does, but these people weren't blocked by me at all.
Mama Bear.
Yeah, it's weird.
And all right. Okay, I'm at 7:15. Here we go. Okay.
She had it all in caps. Good girl.
Yeah. Oh, bless your heart, darling. You made it easy for me. Because I can't see when it's not all done up. Okay, I don't see anymore. So if you see any, Aley, just holler, and I'll go ahead and stick this up.
Yeah.
And if y'all have any questions, put them in. Please do it in all caps. As you can see, it's so much easier to spot. There's that precious baby. Oh my goodness. What a face. What a
This one
face.
here is never home with me, and I kept them. I decided to keep them at home after the other one was almost lifted by a bird of prey. But this is the baby. They would have been able to take her, no problem.
Oh yeah.
She there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, ladies, I'm considering moving back to my hometown.
Yeah.
Williamsville. Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Let's do some shuffling here. See what we got.
So yeah, I just got this new deck. It's called the Sign of the Times.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
I think that's perfect.
And it's a lot of symbols. It just came out yesterday, I believe, and I've not used it yet. So I'm going to use it and see what I can find out for you.
What we got here.
Yeah.
Let me use my new tarot deck. See what I can pull up.
All right.
And I'll probably jump to an oracle or two, which I'm prone to do. I just got a news flash. It said there are CEOs asking employees in the hurricane areas to come to work so they have a good quarter.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. It's all about the dollar bills, isn't it? Oh,
I got passed up way back when Lewis was like an infant, and I worked at McDonald's, of all places, and I used to ride a bike to get to work, and it was a good 3-4 miles to get to the store where I worked at. And we had a smaller hurricane that came through, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of, just stormy weather. And they got mad at me because I wouldn't ride my bicycle 4 or 5 miles to go to work. And because I had called off, and my husband was like, I don't think so. You're not going in.
Yeah.
And
some things just have to be. I don't know.
That's all right. I didn't last much longer after that. I left that job.
I don't blame you.
Wow.
All right. So I pulled some cards for you, Heather. I'm trying to figure out how I want to read this because I've not read this deck before. But the first one I got is crystals, and it's achievement. And I feel like going home, having achieved what you have achieved in your life, will bring you some good, I want to say good juju, good feelings. Yeah, that you will enjoy. And look at its crystals. So you're bringing back the joy that you had when you lived there. They say you can't ever go home again, but I really do think as long as you realize that it's never going to be exactly the same, then you're okay. I get a sunflower next, which is action. I'm seeing that as like the sun in the tarot cards. I'm seeing that as a big yes, you should go. And follow the star of divine guidance. I think you're being divinely guided to go back there, honestly, for whatever reason. So it says open up is another one I got from another deck, and it will bring you closure.
There you go.
I would say you got a good yes there. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I pull with my tarot. I pull the Hermit. And soul searching, introspection, inner guidance. And then the oracle that went with it that I pulled says water source for life, purity, cleanse. So, and then from there I pulled, what is that? The 9 of Swords. Anxiety, worry, fear. And that's going to be a given because you're going home to what you know, but at the same time, it's unknown what you're going to deal with.
It's different
because you're different now. They're different now. So there's anxiety with that. But the oracle I pulled to go with it says prayers are answered, help is on the way.
There you go.
So just roll with it. And then the
Yep.
last one I pulled was the Ace of Wands.
New opportunity.
Yeah, new opportunity, new projects, inspiration. And this is the oracle I pulled to go with it. Reflection of your soul is the art of forgiving.
Yeah.
So that to me, going with what Aley had, is telling me that
Yep.
whatever was there before that had the bad connotations, the bad feelings, you're forgiving. You're forgiving.
Closure.
You've got closure. You're forgiving. And you've got that Ace of Wands. You've got that new start, that fresh
You
start.
do. And you're being divinely guided. Yeah.
That's it.
I think so.
Exactly.
Yep. I think so. That's wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you for letting us read for you.
Yeah. Thank you, dear.
And let's see.
Can you
She's like stuck somebody in the background to be my question catcher. Let's see.
Thank you for the question.
Any other questions?
I don't see any just now. If I see them, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Let us know. Let us know if you have any questions at all. Oh, okay.
Who's on the phone and who's asking for prayers? Okay, I need some clarification there.
I think it's Anita. Anita
Okay.
is. That's what he was been saying.
Okay. So then we need to send some extra prayers. I don't know how many people saw Maya put out a little clip from the hospital this morning. Yeah. She definitely looks better than the last.
Do you know what happened with her? I didn't know what happened. I'm
assuming probably bed sores from kind of what she was talking about. Because when you're not able to get up and move around, it's very easy. The skin gets very fragile.
It sure does. Yes, it does.
And it's very easy to get bed sores. That's one of the things that in a lot of nursing homes and stuff they do, is why they make such a big deal about turning patients from one side to the other or whatnot. Because if you lay too long or sit too long in one position, it can cause blood clots, and it can also cause bed sores. The skin gets very fragile and it will tear. And
I think the other thing you can do is put, if you're sitting on, is it lamb skin? I think it is. There's some kind of cushioning that you can get for those. I'm not sure, 100%
yeah, and
sure.
she may already have it. I mean, I know she's been dealing with this issue for years. And I mean, the fact that she's done so well with herself and done so much with her life, despite such a horrible accident and all of that, speaks volumes of just her fortitude in and of itself.
I agree.
But,
so Craig has a question, Sherry, at 5:25, just so you don't miss it. Oh, I'm sorry, 7:25. You forget.
That's all right. I know what you mean.
All right. All right.
And 25 in the year 25. But you said that up. There we go. There we go. Going out for the reservation on October 1st to rest and see relatives.
First of all, Craig, I just want to say this makes me extremely happy. Going back to your roots, especially in a new season, and working with your relatives and, having that ceremony that just reinforces your Native American traditions and so on is wonderful for you. Yeah.
Without a doubt. And another issue of it being the same but not.
Right.
You're going back to your roots. So you bring with you those feelings of inadequacies or anger or whatever you might have dealt with before with
you leave them behind.
your family, your friends, your people. but you're coming back now to visit and to follow up on doing, healing
Mm-hmm.
ceremonies. So I think that because you're not the same anymore, you
Right.
you have risen to a higher level than where you were. Just in the time that I've known you, and I
Right.
only know you through the chat room and what I've seen on the few shows you're on, because we haven't been able to get them on mine yet. We're still working.
Still working on it. Huh?
Um,
Okay. You will. You
we're still
will.
working out our times here.
Uh-huh.
But
That's
I think it speaks volumes that one, you're willing to have that closure and to go forward. And
yeah.
so
When in 1992, just before my father passed, in the fall, I went to a Native American powwow. I went up from Florida up into Alabama, and I went to this powwow. It was with the Sun Bear people. He had just
okay.
passed, and it was so powerful and so magnificent for me. It was, and my father passed that weekend. And I was so glad that I was involved in that ceremony at the time. He wasn't native, but you know what I mean? It was just very spiritual. It was very beautiful.
But I've known several native peoples over the years, friends that I've made
Mm-hmm.
that, whenever the few times I would be invited to something and I'd be like, yeah, but I'm not, I have like a
It
smidgen
doesn't
of
matter.
character in me, but
Yeah.
not, they probably wouldn't even show up on a DNA test. It's so minute. And they're
Yeah.
like, no, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. No,
You could
it
be our
doesn't.
sister in spirit
Yeah.
just as well as in blood. And so it was like, okay, so
Yeah.
I can embrace part of my heritage that I kind of felt funny embracing because I couldn't prove it. I only have word of mouth from family that's
Right.
what's there, and
Yeah.
um so I think it says a lot for a people of so many different tribes and clans from
Uh-huh.
all across this country, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
That not only have they learned to now work in tandem together, you know, um, to protect all of their peoples, but the fact that despite everything the white man has done to them, they're
It's still
still willing to reach out and to accept and to forgive, and that speaks volumes, I think,
it does.
to the just the spiritual level that someone has to be on for that.
Yeah.
Uh, if you
So
want to go, Aley, go for it. I'm sorry, I'm
all right.
shuffling.
No, take your time. I think it's interesting because look what comes up at a Native American picture here with
Oh
a
wow!
woman with a star and a moon on her head and an owl beside her, and it says storyteller. So, Craig, I think these stories that you have, you already are a storyteller. You've been a storyteller for a long time, but it's going to develop more. And I love the fact that this Native American woman shows up with her owl, and the fact that the storyteller shows up, because these experiences are worth telling the story about.
Absolutely.
I get here that your imagination is absolutely what's the word I want to say? It's excited. The imagination is excited, and the teacher that you have, the person that is teaching you, and I believe you said your uncle was the medicine man, or he was one of the big wigs there. This is a teacher of yours, and you will be a teacher like he is. But the best thing that I came up with was the last one, which is a modern day ambulance. Don't worry, it says healing. So it's going to be very healing for you, Craig. It will be very
Oh,
healing. And if you're bringing Clara with you, I think it will be healing for her as well. It will be a good experience, something very different.
yeah, yeah. I know. When I moved to Phoenix, I mean, there are a lot of Navajo and Hopi that are in that area, and it truly um, it was truly healing just for me, who was in a very bad place emotionally and spiritually when I first went out there, because it was right after my husband died, and just the acceptance, and I met most of the people that I met were at the damn cigarette store because I would go on the reservation because it was cheaper to buy cigarettes than to buy them in town, and then when my mom moved out there to live with me, she would go out there to go, get cigarettes, and she became like, I don't know, mama bear to half of the crew that worked in the store. She would walk in the door and they'd all have to come out from behind the counter and come hug her neck, but it had that effect on everybody. So
right.
but
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's okay. And
We do have her question. We have they were asking.
I've got Viviani's it's Moxie's
It's
question.
from Moxie Chacha. Yeah, we have her question.
Yeah, I already had her question. So, but thank you, Viviani, for making sure I didn't miss it. I appreciate that more than you know. Nothing's worse than if somebody's feelings get hurt because they think you ignored them and you just
ignored them.
Honestly didn't see them.
Right.
Okay, Craig. To start with, I pulled the Circle of Life.
Ooh, look at that.
And so this is just you're circling back around to your roots. You're accepting what was, forgiving of what was, and now you're embracing what can be. And that's all part of the Circle of Life.
Excellent.
And then I pulled Spirit Keeper of the West. I used my native spirit deck for this, by the way. I felt that was the appropriate deck.
It's a good one. Yeah.
I love this deck. And I pulled Spirit Keeper of the West. And it says that this is transformation, letting go of the old, initiation, illumination, harvest, gather your resources. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Trust your heart. Yeah. Chaos can bring positive change. Almost all change comes out of turmoil. Don't be concerned if there's confusion. It will all work out.
Wonderful.
Finished up with, I pulled Thunder Drum.
Ooh.
And it says, stand up and be counted. Be assertive. Don't be shy about sharing your gifts and letting the world know about your value. Declare with authority, this is who I am, and this is what I stand for. Make a stand for others less fortunate. I see you do that all the time in chat.
I know. He does. He does.
Take risk. Walk in rhythm to the beat of your own drum. And I think you're doing that. I mean,
I do too. Yeah.
I've been watching, got to know you, become chat buddies with you for the past, year? And yeah.
I see it all the time. Great growth. Yeah. Great growth.
Very much so.
Yeah. So I know we have another question first, but Hilda wants to know, can we ask a political question? Can she ask a political question? Fine with me. Yeah. Okay.
The only thing I don't feel comfortable doing are medical questions because I'm not a doctor, and legal questions because I'm not a lawyer. And
right. Either.
I may have opinions on those. I may have had experience with something of those, and I can tell you what worked for me.
Right.
But I don't want somebody else to turn around and go out and do it and say, well, Shari said if I do this.
Right. Yeah.
And then I kill somebody or, God forbid. Yeah. So those are the only questions that I'm steer clear of.
Okay.
But I just did a whole show with Sheila last night, and it was nothing but political.
Okay. All right.
So, okay, I'm walking through spirit.
I have to say, first of all, Moxie Chacha, I love that you're doing that. I am a professor and I teach everything in an interdisciplinary way. And I started doing that a lot of it when I was younger, but I've also studied all the different spiritual paths and spiritual things. And I consider myself to take what works for me and leave what doesn't work for me. And there's a lot of integration between a lot of different things. So, it's a lot of fun. But, I'm going to just say that right now, but we'll pull reading, of course. But,
without a doubt. And I have to add, I mean, growing up, I was brought up in the Catholic Church because I don't know why. anyway, but because my mother wasn't a
Because your mother was.
religious,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was just expected of us. I don't understand why, but my mother was not a religious person. She was a spiritual person, but she was not a religious person. She did not go to church. She did not believe in organized religion. She would tolerate it for others, but don't ask her to get involved. It's like, no, I'm not going there. But when I got into high school, my two best friends, one was Catholic and one was Jewish. And so on Friday nights, we would all three go to temple. And then on Sunday morning, we would all three go to mass. And I was the one in the middle that didn't have a horse in either race there, and to me, it felt like, okay, I'm getting both ends of the Bible. I'm getting the Old Testament and the New Testament. I can't go wrong. And I pretty much kind of lived the same philosophy my mom lived, was just don't hurt others and try to do the best that you can do. And then later on, I got sucked into the cult of the Southern Baptist Association. And fortunately, I got out of it. But, and there are a lot of good people that go to church that are, I work with a couple that
there are good people
that are, they could be held up as the best Catholic in the world, but that's their life. They really live that way. It's not a show.
They walk their talk. A lot of people do not walk their talk.
And I have more respect for them for that than, the fact that you're not willing to compromise what you believe. And that's great. But kind of like Aley, I started searching at some point and just decided, I kind of believe this and I kind of believe that. And this works for me. And no, that one doesn't work. Put that back on the shelf.
Yeah.
What did it for me was in 1977 when I saw Star Wars, the very first movie. And Obi-Wan Kenobi started explaining to Luke what the Force was. And I remember sitting in that dark theater going, that's it. That's what I believe. It was so crystal clear. It was just like, it was an epiphany for me. It was like,
sure,
that's it. And it sounds funny to say it because people are like, really, Shari? It's like, hey, when you're 16, if that's what works, that's what works. And, if you want to go, Aley, you can, if you pull something.
So I got some really cool cards here for you, Moxie Chacha. I got cowrie shells, which is abundance. And so what I'm thinking is that there's an abundance of different ideas that all lead back to the same thing. And I feel that way, definitely. And I'm feeling as though I've got the heart. So it all leads back to love. So I've been told many times that all religions and all spiritual paths lead back to the one, lead back to love. There is no delineation between them. And the next card I got was silence. And perhaps it's just saying to you, you can be whoever you want to be and integrate these two things in your life. And you don't have to tell people about that. That can be your power, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it. And you're planting the seeds. You're planting the seeds for that. And it's beautiful. So, and the other thing I want to say is that some paths, spiritual paths, for instance, Buddhism is not a religion. It's a path. It's a way of living. And I believe shamanism is a lot like that as well. The Judaism is just so cool because it talks about the past and how that all that in the Kabbalah and all the other things. And they're the mystical sects, sects of the world. And the mystical sects are all the same, more so than the religion that they come from. So I'd say love it, join it, do what you can, learn all you can, and really have a good time with it.
That's it. As someone who kind of had her foot in all different kinds of pies growing up, the religious beliefs, and who finally ended up with just accepting my spiritualism as my personal flow. You know what?
Right. Yep.
What I think. You know, I don't care if anybody else believes it or not. It's not your walk; it's mine.
That's
And
right.
so I have to do what fits me.
That's right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I pulled for you, Moxie. The first card I pulled for you. This is the first Oracle deck I ever got. By the way, it's called um, Eternal Secret Oracle. I won it from this lovely lady sitting next to me. Her husband pulled my name out of a basket when she did
Mm-hmm.
a giveaway. And I
Mm-hmm.
just started thinking about I need to do Oracle cards. I was really feeling the pull that I need to do Oracle cards. And I was starting to like shop around and didn't know what direction to go in. And boom, I up and won this deck. And I still use it regularly. I love this
That's
deck.
awesome.
With all the other ones I have, and I have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have like 8 or 9 Oracle decks now. I don't know.
Good for
Lose count.
you.
And
Good.
every time I see a good Oracle deck, I'm like snatching it up. Like, oh yeah, that's a good one. But this one I got because of Aley. And
Oh, that's sweet.
but the first thing I pulled is what they call Heart Song, and it's just a zest and a joy for life.
Mm.
And I think with both of these paths, shamanism and Judaism, a lot of what both of these paths teach you is to embrace the childlike wonder of that faith and
That's right.
to just let it out, let it flow. I mean, you see this little boy is dancing and having himself a high old time, and the horse is joining him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you can't do much better than that.
That's
And then I
true.
pulled Magus, which I don't think
Mm.
I've actually pulled this card before. um let's see if I can get it up here where y'all can see it. It's pretty
Ooh.
powerful looking. It says, as you think, you create. It equals what would be considered the magician in the tarot
Yes.
deck.
I was just going to say that.
And
Yep.
it's the ability to create what you desire.
Mm-hmm.
Um, talent, resources, people you need to know, everything's at your fingertips. You just have to be willing to reach out and say, this is what I want to create. Will you help me?
Right.
And there
All
are
the
people.
tools. All the tools in the tarot card. If you look at the musician, all the
Yeah.
tools. Not the musician. I'm sorry.
Are
The
are
magician.
all
All the
laid out.
tools are all laid out in front of
Yeah.
him. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Look what we do. I mean, you can't really see it,
Mm-hmm.
but when I know I'm going to have be on a show doing a reading, I have like 9 or 10 decks that are all
Mm-hmm.
out of the box, all lined up on my side desk here. So all I
Mm-hmm.
have to do is just turn around and go,
Pick
which
one
one
out.
I need to use, and
Yep.
it will tell me. And that's the one I pull out and I start using it.
That's awesome. That's what I
And
do
then
too.
the last card I pulled was the Oracle. And I look at that
Ooh.
card and just the power
Yeah.
that I see in this woman, that divine feminine power.
Mm-hmm.
She knows exactly who she is. And that's what this card is. It's know thyself. It's the equivalent of the high priestess or the triple goddess. So she is the one that's gonna. I get a really bad glare there. That's a little bit better. But it's just such a powerful, powerful picture.
It is because
And
we have all that power. We're the
yeah,
ones that are powerful ones. Absolutely.
I mean, when you think about it, who brings life into this world? Women does. Who
Mm-hmm.
takes care of life in this world? Women do.
Mm-hmm.
Who are there to clean up at the end of that life? Women are.
Oh boy. Yep.
I
That's so
mean,
true.
and I
Yeah.
don't mean it to sound chauvinistic or, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
bashing men, because there's a lot of good men out there that do the same thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, through it all and through the centuries, women are the ones that are the nurturers, or the ones that keep everything going so the men can go out and play war, you know, beat each other up, and then come home and cry that I hurt. So
yeah. Hi, Ivana.
okay, my feminist side popped out there. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah.
Hi, Ivana. And okay, let me see here. I do have. Okay, Hilda had a question.
We have one before that, I think, Sherry, which is.
Oh, did we?
Did you get the Irene? Lexi Irene. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Mama Bear's daughter. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Did get that one. Okay. And
we'll get to you, Hilda.
There was another one that I just saw. Let me go look again.
Okay.
And if you want to start doing your thing, and
I'm
then
going to do my deck of character here. This one is pretty interesting. Yes.
I haven't gotten any of those yet. I know Debbie's new deck has just come out.
Oh, yeah.
Debbie Freebird Spirit. It looks interesting.
Yes.
I can't afford any decks right now.
Yeah. I understand.
And things are tight at the moment. So,
all right. So the question is,
until I build up more points.
This guy recently stopped talking. If his feelings were genuine or if he used you. I can see that you've been talking because there's the tongue. I don't know if you had some kind of a disagreement or not, but I get the knife. So I'm wondering if there was something that was said that might have been a cutting remark or some kind of a remark that cut away either some part of the mystique or some kind of relationship issue. The next part I get is the magnet. I think you two were brought together for a reason, and that you have that magnetism that it takes for a relationship. And you got a baby angel on your side. Look at this. Much as it looks crazy, there was something about this person that was meant to be for whatever reason. But I'm seeing a desert at this point. And I don't know if that's because this person may be wandering, maybe a wanderer, if you know what I mean. Maybe I don't know how old they are. There are people that, they come into your life and in and out of your life in 5 or 6 weeks. They say that if you've, I know that I had a boyfriend one time and we were together for 6 weeks and it was very intense and very, we had a great time together, but all of a sudden it was gone. And we came together and then there was desert. So I'm feeling that. And that the last one under the deck is home. And I'm wondering if he's just, shut you out for that reason. I have heard that if a relationship can last more than 6 weeks, that it probably can last longer than 6 weeks. But sometimes there's that period of time where things get a little crazy. I don't know how long this was for you, Lexi, but anyway.
Yeah, I know right after high school, I met a guy. It was a co-worker's brother, and we started dating, and I mean, it was very intense for the course of the summer. And then literally from one day to the next, it went from hot to cold.
Yeah.
And suddenly
it's like that song from Greece, Summer Lovin',
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how it felt. It was like, okay, summer's over and you were fun to play with this summer, but now I'm going to go back to this other girl over here so we can get married. Is basically what it was. And it was like, it was hard. It was painful. And
oh, wow.
But in the long run, when I look back over the years, I'm like, oh, thank God that didn't go through.
Well, and that's what I was going to say too. Yeah. That person that was with me for 6 weeks would have been a really poor match for where I've gone with my life. So I understand. Yeah, there are reasons why things don't work out.
Yeah, we may not see it at the time, but Spirit sees it, and Spirit knows that this is not.
Okay, Lexi. So he's 19, you're 20. He wasn't ready for anything serious after being in. Of course not. All of a sudden he got afraid. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Most 19 or 20-year-olds can't make a decision on what underwear to wear, much less.
That's true. Craig,
Yeah.
I think Patricia Franzino is on a cruise or is going on one. I don't know if she's on it already, but she is going away for a few days. So, yeah. Sweet talked her and got what he wanted. Yeah.
All right. Well, I went with Scott's ET deck. Just because it can really be fun sometimes.
It's out of this world.
New and full moon energy, hidden secrets. So, maybe there was a hidden secret or two, something that he wasn't ready to go that next step. He wasn't ready to release that part of himself. And sometimes that can be more of what it is than anything else. It's just somebody being afraid of making that next step connection.
Yeah.
And then Andromeda, what is it? Andromedan knowledge to manifest your desires. I don't know what Andromedan is. I know it's one of the space races.
Yeah.
I don't know
star,
what kind. Yeah, it was star seeds or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they have their own star system or something. So, but it does say that you can manifest your own desires. So the last one I pulled was open your mind, learn daily, teach by example. All of that put together is just a matter of sit back and take what you learned from this relationship.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel? How did you have to change yourself in order to make the other person comfortable? Or were you allowed to be you? And a lot of, especially young women, don't realize how much they twist themselves into a pretzel to fit that vision that the boyfriend has of what they should be, or the new husband of what they should be. And they're miserable and don't know why, So when I was 20, you couldn't have told me that. You couldn't have beat that into me with a sledgehammer.
But it can happen when you're 40. It can happen when you're 50.
But I'm 60 now. And it's like, people are like, you never wanted to get remarried? I'm like, no. I did that.
There's a lot of people out there
that my husband walks up to my door and says, hey, how are you? We can talk, see what happens. But I'm happy just being me by myself, Yeah.
But when you're 20, it is very.
It's a different story when you're 20. When you're 20, everything is end of the world. It is just so, drastic and overproduction.
I'm sorry that happened to you, Lexi. I send lots of love, dear.
It's a very difficult thing to deal with because the pain's real. I mean,
it is real.
I'm kind of teasing you a little bit about it, but I don't mean to do that to hurt your feelings. I'm just trying to get the laughter in you to come out over it because that can be very painful, that kind of rejection. It can make you sit back and go, well, what's wrong with me? Bingo, that's where I was. What's wrong with me? And I wasn't until a friend said, there's nothing wrong with you. He was the problem.
True. Yep.
And
the dog agrees.
And the dogs agree. Thoroughly and completely agree.
Perfect timing.
Pardon me while my guys come in and the dogs start barking and it gets loud for a minute.
Mine do that too.
All right.
Hilda,
I don't think we had another question after Hilda. I can't see any.
No, I don't see any either.
So,
this is a good question.
See, I just want to ask if Beto's debate with Abbott. Oh, you mean Abbott's actually going to show up?
That's a surprise to me, yes. He's such a slimy guy. God.
I can't believe Abbott would actually show up because he's terrified of Beto.
Is he really? Oh.
That's just the feeling I get when I watch him, when he's either asked about Beto or the few instances where Beto has gotten in his face for some stuff, like what happened in Aley, I get pure, uninhibited fear of Beto. Because Beto is from Abbott. Abbott is afraid of Beto because.
Well, then you see the other guy. He's the other guy, Paxton. Did you see that he ran away when they were trying to serve him?
The AG,
afraid.
The Attorney General, who's under 5 indictments currently. He's currently under 5 indictments, and he's running for the same position again. It's like, okay. And this is not just Texas that this happens in.
No, I know.
Happens in my state too, as well as several others.
It happens.
We really, really need to have major reform as far as who can run for office, who is still eligible to keep in office or to run for re-election. I mean, I'm sorry, if you're under indictment, you should not only be allowed to hold that position, you damn well shouldn't be able to rerun for it unless you've been proven innocent, through a trial.
Especially what happened in Uvalde and all the other things that have been just completely ignored. He didn't even go to
Texas as a little girl, and I didn't know anything about politics, but that was when Ann Richardson was the governor. Or Richards, I think her name was.
Richards,
yeah.
She was
amazing. I remember just being in awe of her because she was a woman and she was in charge. And it was like, wow, and that spoke volumes to me. But things were really
she had
good.
Big hair. Didn't she have big Texas big
she had the big hair. They all did at that time. But I mean, but I just remember, things seemed to just go so much smoother back then. And now maybe it's just because I'm looking at it through the memory of childhood, but just like I lived in Northwest Florida when I was a child. My childhood was split up and down the Gulf Coast. Back when Florida was a blue state and had one of the best education systems in the country. And now I think they're lower than Louisiana is, and that's saying something. Because Louisiana's education system is not top flight.
No.
There are areas where it is. And I work at a university and we have managed to move up the scale as far as best universities to go to school at. I think we're like in the top 300 now, which is a major accomplishment.
That is.
So, it's like, we need to toot our horn over that, but it's taken a lot of work. But Florida, when I went to school in Florida, when I lived there from 1969 to 1975, and Florida public schools were run on the Montessori system, which is a fabulous learning system for children.
Now it's too woke, Shari.
Oh yeah, now it's oh my God, you're going to teach them actual facts and make them think about it and have them write down what they feel about it and horrors, so anyway,
I'm feeling, and somebody else said, I think it was Heather said that Beto can wipe the floor with Abbott. And I agree with that. The problem is there are some people that will vote for Abbott just because he's a Republican. That's the only reason. But I'm getting here that it's going to be a very emotional debate.
Very much.
But Beto is he's so articulate. He's smart. He knows how to deal with this.
He's smart without sounding.
With sounding like he's and you know what?
With it.
And we're seeing that also with Reverend Warnock and Herschel Walker, and he's afraid because he knows that he can wipe the floor. Warnock can wipe the floor with him. So we're seeing the fear come through. We're seeing the fear.
That child had somebody rupture his brain or something when he played football.
Yeah. Oh, well, Herschel. Oh, yeah.
God
But
help me.
here's divine guidance again. And
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that Beto is going to win. It may be tight, but I'm feeling that myself because he's an anchor and will provide stability for the state of
I have
Texas.
watched a lot of videos that people have taken of Beto in these town halls
Oh
where he's
yeah,
going in these Republican, just
areas. Yep.
entire Republican areas where everyone in the room is a Republican.
And they
And
love
to
him.
see him sit and talk to them
Yeah.
and have them ask questions and him give them an honest answer
Yeah.
of this is what I believe, this is why I believe it, and this is what will happen if you put me in office. I will do A, B, C, D, and to have these people step back and say, you know what, I've never voted for a Democrat in my life until you. And it's like, that's how you
He
change.
feels the pain of the people.
Yeah,
He feels he's empathic. He has compassion, and it's not weakness. And I think that some folks in the past have felt that like Obama, they used to say Obama was too weak. He wasn't a man, but he was probably one of the strongest leaders
yeah,
we ever had.
yeah.
So,
And far overqualified for the job. I mean,
yeah.
he was a constitutional lawyer, and they used to accuse him of not knowing the
Not
Constitution.
knowing anything. I know. I love the way they switched it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I hope so, Hilder. I listen to Susan Lynn. She thinks he's going to do it. And I think Linda G has said that too. So
I heard Linda talking to Andre. They taped the show, I think, like a day or two ago. I just got to listen to it today.
yeah.
She just got her list from her buddy that gives her a list of everyone who's running all of these local races. And she said, I'm getting ready to sit down and do my thing. Because the last time she was like 90% correct.
Yeah. And we're not seeing the correct polls because young people don't answer their phone, number one, or they have a cell phone, or they're not being counted, and they're the ones that are going to pull this race through. I think so.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right, what I pulled for you: full moon eclipse. The conclusions are within reach.
Look at that, the moon
Look at
again.
that! Wow.
Yeah.
And then I pulled the full moon in Aries. Another full moon. A fiery climax approaches. Okay, there's going to be some fireworks coming up.
Really? Yeah.
Because Adam and his buddies are going to have a conniption fit like Trump and his buddies did when he lost. It's going to be across the country. I'm telling you, every time a Democrat wins an office, especially if it's against an incumbent Republican, they're going to be fighting. They're going to be screaming foul and cheat. And
yeah. Well, but that we women aren't going to put up with this Roe v. Wade BS and all the old men making the decisions.
While the Supreme Court thought they were finally getting their little wishes, they don't realize the gift that they handed, not just to women, but to
they landed the Democrats
across the country. I mean, with that, it was like, I mean, because even Republican women are like, whoa, wait a minute.
Right, I know. Can you say stupid or can you say pissed?
And then the last one I pulled was the full quarter moon. It says your commitment is being tested. I think that's more true for the entire state of Texas.
I think so.
Just as I think it's true for the entire country that have these elections and the midterms. Because the midterms are usually when whatever party's in power in the White House loses everything.
Yeah. Usually.
That's what happened to Obama. He got in there.
It's happened most of the time.
Couldn't get enough stuff done fast enough, even though he had the numbers. And instead of keeping it, they voted in all those idiots, and he got stopped midway.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Well, I did not know that Beto was a Libra, and if Beto's birthday was yesterday, that he's going to bring justice in. Honestly, he's the best person.
Oh, wow. Yes.
That's fabulous.
Libra with the scales. Oh yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, I miss Obama as president. I'm enjoying Biden in his
He's
fumbling
okay.
way.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like having your grandpa in there, but I really miss having Obama in there. Okay, Craig
I
had
know.
another question. Um,
Okay.
will we keep our Democratic governor in New Mexico this election? That's,
Oh, it's a woman, isn't it? It's a woman, and
who? Yeah, I was
she's
gonna say I don't
and she's
even know who
Latina.
that is.
Isn't she Latina? Isn't she? I think so.
I
Yeah.
think I think I think so. Somebody look it up. Google it real quick.
I think so.
We got enough people in chat. Somebody Google it.
Yeah.
Google it and give us some info.
Hi, Rondell. Nice to see
Oh,
you,
hey,
dear.
Rondell. I didn't know you were there.
She just popped in. Nice to
Oh,
see
well, better late than never, baby. That's why I
you.
look
Yeah.
at it. And
All right. What do we got here? Oh my, here we go. It looks like there's going to be a lot of votes for her because abundance comes up. Looks like she has a lot of people on her side.
good deal.
I'm not sure, Craig, has she metamorphosized? Has she become like a butterfly? She's expanded and done good things for the state. I'm hoping so, because I think if she has, and people feel really comfortable with her, that she has a really good shot. And she's very balanced. And that makes a difference, I think. She's very balanced. She's fair, and
Yeah.
perhaps more fair than the person. And I saw that they just booted out that guy in New Mexico that was on the 1-6. He was in some school thing, a school meeting, I think, and he voted against something. And so, it's Michelle Grisham, Lujan Grisham. Yes, I remember now. Yes, she's awesome. Yeah, I think she's got a good shot at it, especially with her balance.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
There you go. I know you want your dinner, don't you? You want your dinner? Yes.
Hard work is paying off.
Ooh. Oh, he was the weatherman. Oh my God. Sorry, that's just funny.
Weatherman. Oh, wow.
Weatherman.
Says a new romantic cycle begins. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to mean
Somebody new
romance, but it also could mean that people take a step back and look at her under a different light and see her.
Could be. It might be a tight race. You never know.
It says the end of a rough cycle approaches. So there we go.
There you go.
I'm just like flipping cards right now. Be bold and make the first move.
There you go. You go out there, Craig, and vote.
That's it.
That's it.
And this is what I've been telling people is like, go vote early so that the day of the election, you're free with your time.
Yeah.
And you can give your neighbors a ride to the polls, your family a ride to the polls. You can make sure that you're sitting somewhere that if somebody wants water or something like that, it's just sitting there. You want to take it. I'm not giving it to you. Just sitting there, nothing.
Except in Texas, you can't get the water, remember?
Yeah.
You can't hand it out to anybody.
Well, in Georgia, too. I think Georgia did that.
I think so. Well. Yes, I agree.
And maybe Alabama, but I have a feeling that a lot of these, I'm a Southerner through and through. I grew up in the South. I understand the way that people think down here in a lot of respects. And a lot of it is, well, that's the way my daddy did it. That's the way my granddaddy did it. That's the way my great granddaddy did it. So that's the way I do it. And it's like, yeah, but that's not the best way. if you're losing half your crops because you're doing it like your daddy did it, you need to take a class or two and find out how to do better crops.
Critical thinking. Yeah, critical
Yeah,
thinking. Very important. Just
very
because you've
important.
always done something a certain way doesn't mean that's the right way.
And you have so many people, especially down here in the South, with just the prejudicial view, not necessarily black and white as in race, but in educated and non-educated. You know, that's a big struggle we have down here, is getting parents who can't read and write to understand the importance that your children can read and write.
That's right.
And think for themselves. And that's what terrifies them. Because then they go to church on Sunday and they get the preacher screaming at them and telling them that, they're being taught the ways of the devil and da 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 da. It's like, come on, man. Really. I mean, I live in a college town and we still battle that,
And it's 2022. It shouldn't be this way. It really shouldn't. But you can't change. Sometimes you just can't change things in a very fast manner, or you think you've changed them. But the truth is that the people have just not been upfront. Yeah.
And it can hit you from both sides on that. I mean, growing up in the South, I mean, eventually things changed. We just go a lot slower at it. It's like trying to pour molasses in the dead of winter. It just takes a really long time. Yes.
Well, we need points of light like you, and we have points of light like you and some of the people in the chat that live in these areas, such as you.
We're no longer growing.
Yeah.
Like it's a secret you don't want to get out.
That's right.
And I always refer people back to the movie The Blind Side that Sandra Bullock won her Oscar for. The scene where they're hiring the tutor, Kathy Bates' character.
Right.
And she's like, well, there's something you should know about me before you hire me. And then she comes out with, I'm a Democrat. And it's like, I heard people laugh about it and say, well, what's wrong with that? I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You're talking about a very, very, very conservative Southern area where being a Democrat is the equivalent of saying, I'm from the forces of the devil and I'm here to conduct evil on your children. And that's basically how people look at it down here. They're convinced that liberal, progressive people are out to do you.
I was just talking in class today and I said, because I have a lot of high school students that are doing this Running Start program. And I said to them, you're here to get a liberal education. And I said, that doesn't mean that you have to change to be a liberal. But what it means is you have to become more open-minded and learn from both sides and talk about things, because we're born into we're born into a family that has a religion already, has a political, has a way of living. And if you buck that system in some cases, then, your family hates you, or there's some kind of a problem.
Or they cut you off, or they kick you out.
That's right. Yep.
It can be very, very close-minded in a lot of ways. And sometimes, I mean, on the racial borders, it can be even more so on the other side. They're even more strict about don't intermingle, don't mix, don't,
I know. Even now.
It's like until people just learn to get along, that's one of the joys of working at a university, I think, is especially in computer science, because I've got faculty and students from around the globe.
Oh, sure. And I have international students where I work. So,
it's really enjoyable sometimes just to sit and talk to them, ask them about their country,
learn a new point of view. That's right.
Exactly. Or to have them come ask me, well, why are y'all doing this? And to explain to them, well, because that's the way it's always done, is not the answer that they're looking for. They want you to explain to them, why do you do this?
Right.
So, Yeah.
Well, I had a
Well,
wonderful
Aley,
time with you, and
thank
thank
you
you
very
for
much. We
having
went
me.
over our hour. I didn't mean to run it this
That's
long.
okay. That's okay. It was a
And
lot of fun. And hello, Lisa Rhodes. We do see you there. Thank you for
hi,
being here.
Lisa.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, she's from the Bible Belt. I'll pray for you, baby. Well, bless your heart, as we say down here. And that can be taken in so many different ways, depending on how you say it.
That's right.
What
That's right.
tone you use depends on if you're getting cursed at or if you're just being
That's
truly blessed.
right. Oh,
Thank you so much for coming on, Allie. This was fun.
oh,
I
sure.
haven't thought for this. I'm looking
You're
forward to
welcome.
Saturday morning.
I know.
That's
We'll
going
have
to
a
be a
great time.
blast.
I'll have to
Yeah.
get up early because it's only going to be 8 in the morning here at that time, but I'll do it
Oh my
because
God.
I'm all about raising the vibe tribe. So
Bad enough for me at 10, and I'm, oh, I'm making up at
I'll
8.
be there. I might have to take a nap later, but I'll be there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So y'all be sure you come see us Saturday
Yeah.
morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central,
11
through
Eastern
Dozen Cats for you or for me or
for
how
me. Yep.
Dozen Cats for me. It's Kelly's channel. Y'all know
It
Kelly.
is. Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
it's our new. It's a new group that she's kind of put together. There's 9 of us. We're gonna all be there for the first day,
Yep.
and it's all about raising people's vibration and see if we can't get the vibration raised around everyone around us. And
Yes.
it's I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully
Oh,
y'all can come and then you can stick around and watch me after the fact. I'm gonna have Ben from Beneficial Tarot
yeah.
come
He's a
on my
lot of fun.
channel.
You'll like him. Yeah.
He is an
You'll,
absolute sweetie pie. I just love him
yeah.
to death. He's from London, and so it took us a while to get schedules to mesh. Because when I'm sleeping, he's awake, and vice versa. So we had to work on that. So I'll be doing that at 1 o'clock Central
Uh-huh.
Saturday, and then Sunday with Spirit Messenger Sheila, and I don't remember what time now. I'll tell you Saturday. I gotta make a promo ad. I haven't done it yet.
There you go.
We just got the date and the time settled today, so it's like I gotta make a promo ad tonight. So that'll be
Excellent.
fun. And thank God for Canva. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't be getting any of
I
that
do
stuff.
want to say one thing, and that is that Sherry told me just before the show that her cat stole her half of her
She
sandwich.
did. I made a ham sandwich because I hadn't eaten all day, and I thought, okay, I ate half of it before the show, and I wrapped it in a napkin. I put it on a paper plate next to me and thought I'll eat the other half after the show. And my
Nope.
son
Wasn't
said
gonna
something
happen.
about trying to help me load something. And I stepped outside the curtain and I came back. She had that plate on the floor, the sandwich split apart, and was going to town on it. I was like, doggone it, man.
I know. I know.
And every
That's
time the
amazing.
dog tried to sneak in and get a bite, she was meow at him. So I had to take some away from it. At that point, it was like, okay, the sandwich is a goner.
It was a
So I
great. It was. I mean, I'm
took,
sorry you missed your
took
sandwich.
some
I think
away
you
from
could
her
go
to
get
give to the
a
dogs.
beignet or something now. But yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm really not hungry, so it doesn't. That's why I
That's
didn't eat the whole thing at
to begin
once
with.
to begin with. It was like I just didn't want a whole sandwich. Um,
Okay.
you'd think I'd lose weight because I never want to eat anymore, but I guess it's because I eat too much junk. I'm a junk food junkie. I
Happens.
can't help it.
That happens. Yep.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you, thank you, and namaste. Thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Much love and hugs and kisses and prayers to everybody. And for all the
Stay
friends
safe
and
out there.
family in Florida,
Yeah.
please pray for them. I know I have family down there too. So um, they're going to be going through some rough days because this was a really killer storm that went through there. So, um, and I think there's another one not far behind it that's already building up in the Caribbean. So we'll see what happens next. But thank you again, Allie, for coming on. I
Thank you,
look
Sherry.
forward to
Thanks,
seeing you
everybody.
Saturday morning.
Okay.
And I'm going to
Bye
say
bye,
goodnight.
everybody.
Bye. in broadcast.